So we are in a Bitcoin short. If you are a VIP member, you would know that I am positioned in a Bitcoin short. So I just want to take a couple of minutes to explain why I am in this short. So yeah. Okay. So the first of all, of course, if you look at the overall structure of the Bitcoin, it looks very similar to what we have right now here. Now I'm not a big fan of the fractals, and I do not sincerely, I do not give a fuck about fractals. What do I care about is the price action. Now, if you look at the price action, the one major similarity is not the highs or anything. The one major similarity in this price action and in this price action is that we are leaving the lows, and no bottom is ever formed by leaving the lows. Okay, I have said this so many times in my streams that you should have this memorized by now, that no bottom is formed where we basically do not sweep the lows. Even if it does, that bottom is not a really strong bottom and it is expected to get sweep. And if you look at the price action, we have also lost a 1 month long trend line or 1 month long parallel channel. If you guys trade that, but I heavily trade the parallel channels, and I do think it gives a very good outlook on what to expect on the market. This is not looking very great. We have lost the parallel channel, and if I go on a daily time frame, we tried to reclaim the parallel channel, but instead what we did, we simply rejected from this gap here, and we just made this huge wick. And not just that, okay, the things get worse. Okay, this looks very nasty, you need to understand. So first of all, let's go step by step. So what happened first is that price does a breakdown of a parallel channel. That's the first thing that happened. What happened next, price tries to reclaim on the Monday. It is unable to do that, and it creates a swing failure pattern. It creates a wick which shows weakness for the buyers, because keep in mind, you really have to understand the context here as well. So what is the context saying? Okay, let me just relate these. Okay, if I go and zoom out, the context is basically indicating that we are at a major support. So a strong bounce from here is very important, and it is must. Otherwise the Bitcoin will go down and it will make a new low, new absolute low. Okay, looking at the weak structure of price action. But again, I could be wrong. The market could go on the other side. And again, there is always an if. There is no certainty in the market. No one can give you a certainty. So, but if you look at the probability, it is very much indicating that price should go lower from here. But what if it goes higher from here? We do have a plan for that, and for that exact reason, I am in a hype long, which I just posted out. Because first of all, if you compare the hype and the Bitcoin price action, you can pretty much tell that hype is outperforming the Bitcoin. If you even go on the hype BTC chart, you can tell that. And hype is long POI. So let's say if Bitcoin is supposed to go up from here, despite all of the weaknesses, despite the swing failure patterns, despite the loss of a 1 month old parallel channel, despite all of that, if it somehow decides to go up, as it can, it goes up, we are positioned in a hype, because hype will massively outperform the Bitcoin in percentage gains, and we will still make money even if we get stopped out in this short. So either the market goes up or either the market goes down, we will make money anyway. This is how we are positioned right now, if you follow me from the start of the month. So yeah, this is the situation right now of the Bitcoin, and our positions are, we are almost up 7.25 R in a month. I'm on my personal portfolio. So yeah, this is the current position of everything. Okay, so I have explained you the reasoning of the Bitcoin short, and if we fail to like respect this level and go from here, the next level I'm looking at is basically this imbalance, which is of course is a much stronger level than this imbalance. Why? Because this is in the discount, or sorry, this is in the premium. We have OTE, optimal entry points there. So if I draw the Fibonacci, this is the level where you want to make entries for the shorts or the longs. Doesn't matter, are you looking for the longs or the shorts? This is the general rule. This is where you should make your entry. But you will say, of course, always, why have you made an exception? And I have also explained that on my streams multiple times, that when I make entries below than these levels, below these OTE levels, is probably because I'm expecting the price, I'm seeing the trend very strong. And when a trend is strong, it does not give you the optimal entries. It does not come to the 0.79, 0.705, 0.62. It does not come there. What happens is that it simply rejects from the 0.382 level. Now, of course, This is a very hard skill to master, and you master it over time. How much you spend time on the charts. And of course, I also can sometimes get wrong with this. What happens that price often goes up and then rejects from the OTE level. If you observe the price action and if you trade Bitcoin a lot, and if you look at the charts a lot, you can also notice that when a trend is very strong, it often rejects from the 0.382 instead of going to these levels. So that is why I have decided to take a short from the current market price, which is basically this 0.236 level. And let's say if Bitcoin decides to go higher to these OT levels, I will also be observing to take a short from here. But I will be careful taking a short here, because again we have stopped out here, so we are already in a loss. So I will wait for extra confirmations to take a short from this level. So this is the Bitcoin update. Before I move further into the market update, I have one more chart. Talk about the USDT dominance here. If you see, this is basically an inverse chart of the Bitcoin in easier words. And if you want to make it complex, it is basically just the whole amount of USDT. And if it is going up, it is basically mean that USDT is flowing. The amount of USDT in the crypto is getting increased. This basically mean that the money is getting out of Bitcoin and etc. Okay, so if you look at the USDT dominance, it is also telling the same story, that Bitcoin, the USDT dominance have done a breakout of its 1 month old trend line. Not just that, we are bouncing from this gap we have on a daily time frame. So both of these charts are telling the same story. But as I have said, there is nothing certain in this market. So let's say even if this chart decides to go lower and Bitcoin decides to go higher, of course we should be prepared for that, which we have a high long here, but we also have a backup solution, another trade in the plan, which is basically, let me just remove this, which is basically from this imbalance either this imbalance. We have these two charts where I will looking to take a next potential mega short. And of course, if you fail both of these level, then you are looking for higher prices, a new high. But I do not think so that we are going to do that. And I don't think so that we should come till the 7.5%, because then the idea of like shorting the Bitcoin, taking a mega short, will get weaker, because of course then this is strength. We will be able to reclaim the trend line and then come here. So we do not want to see the 7.5%. 7.5% is a good short opportunity, but we do not want to see it because it invalidates the idea of bears strengthening. Okay, so either we should just continue the uptrend on the USDT dominance from this 8%, or we should just do a bigger retest of this imbalance we have here, 7.7%, and we go higher. And both of these levels are really strong. Both of these levels are really good. If I use the other tools as well, you can see we have a 0.5 around this level. If I use the Fibonacci from this low, we have a OTE levels around this level. So this is what I'm looking at the USDT dominance. Either we bounce from here or either we go up from here. So again, we would have to see what unfolds, and we are positioned, so we don't have to worry about.